Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's talk about a few things. So we have been addressing a few altcoins lately, but honestly, for the most part, the market has just been kind of sitting stable, and I know it's kind of boring. I seen a few people saying on Twitter, like, this sideways, price movement is extremely boring. But that's the thing, like, this is a perfect opportunity to really kind of address who you are in this market and why you are in this market. I think that as everybody's really kind of saying, hey, we're in a recession, we're in a bear market, we're going to continue to go down here. I think that it's a good time to really kind of address, like, are you going to be a follower or are you going to be a leader? To me, I think that a lot of these assets are at some incredible, DCA, buy points, and I average in because, I really do feel like averaging in is like probably one of the best opportunities and best, strategies that you could do in this market. I never really kind of buy too much at one point in time. I see people kind of bragging and flexing their buys on Twitter here and there about like doing like $5,000 buys all at once, and I just think that that is a terrible way at really kind of going about this market. You never really want to just put all your capital in at once, because when you do have something like a strong dip, like this for an example, then again, you kind of missed out on an opportunity to DCA a little bit and bring your average down. So when we really look at Quant, I've been addressing that $50 range still. I'm hoping that we get one last shot at it, but we might actually have seen our little bit of a bottoming point on Quant at around this range back here when we came down to like roughly $50. So we're definitely watching this market a little bit closely to see if we do have a stabilization in price action, and we have a strong bounce from here on out. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about Quant a little bit more. So, I have been addressing, connecting all the blockchains, basically the network of networks, and we actually seen this article posted on June 2nd by Maximilian Perkman. Now, I think that this is great. I think that this actually kind of really addresses a few points on where we basically are at with Quant. We do see, down here the first half of 2021 was marked by great success for Quant. From around, $11 in January of 2021, it went to over $400 within half a year. In addition to the fundamentally bullish sentiment on the overall market, the main reason for the strong price development was the listing on Coinbase and Binance. And I do think that there was quite a bit of speculation as well. There was also some, great announcements like around C and things like that definitely did help push the price of Quant. But we do see here the future of finance today. This is how the project justifies the strong price jump. Still, the price has returned to the level before the rally in recent months. And we do see why Quant, the blockchain project Quant, aims to connect the different blockchains and allow them to communicate with each other. I think that a lot of these major articles are fairly wrong in the way that they are trying to fundamentally downplay, if you will, Quant. No hate towards anybody, that's writing these articles. I just don't believe that a lot of individuals understand the technology around Quant. For me personally, when we look at what Quant is actually doing, it's not just trying to connect different blockchains to one another. It's actually trying to connect all the blockchains to the legacy system. They've already solved interoperability between blockchains. That's not really a hard thing to do, as we have seen other projects do so in the last few years. What we do know is that interconnectivity between the legacy systems and the digital systems of today, aka DLTs, that's a little bit of a harder gap to close. And Quant has already solved that as well. That's why I, really kind of bet on, Quant basically being a major success. So again, when we really kind of look at this, I don't believe that it is just, interconnectivity between blockchains, and I've always, shared that. Now, we do see down here, what makes it special is Quant Network enables the creation of so-called multi-chain apps, maps. These work similar to dApps, but have the special feature that they allow the user to create an interaction between different blockchains. Now, again, when we look at these maps and things like that, yeah, I definitely do think that they are building out some pretty strong things with multi-chain apps and stuff like that. Also, even the multi-chain tokens and stuff are pretty significant. But we do see down here, which problem does Quant or QNT address? The majority of all blockchain projects provide unique benefits and opportunities. This technology or the technology would even be more efficient if the blockchains could bundle their strengths and capabilities. Of course, they are talking about, like, this quote here, basically removing the barriers to interoperability over Ledger helps you create a whole new world of possibility, Quant Network. And yeah, I think that it is great. When we look at a lot of the DLTs in this market, and we look at a lot of these major networks, they have great, potential and power. But the issue is that that potential and power will not be seen without interoperability. And I've actually shared this with my videos multiple times on Quant, really kind of addressing it. Now, again, when we talk about a few things around Quant, we definitely look at a few major names, and like that is like Gilbert Verdian and things like that. I think that there's some pretty interesting information around some of the significant names around like Quant. Like, for an example, like Gilbert Verdian, he used to be like the chief executive like of security for like MasterCard and stuff. So when we actually look at who he is and the team behind Quant, it really kind of solidifies exactly where we are at with Quant, and I do think that it also helps us kind of build a confidence structure behind hodling Quant or QNT long term as well. But I do also want to talk to you guys about a major update that we did see with Nexi. So again, Nexi and SIA basically, kind of conjoined into one major company. They merged, and we actually do see here. So Nets, part of the Nexi group, Nexi, the Italian payments giant, buys Germany's Overbird for $140 to $150 million to expand its SMB strategy. Now, we're actually going to be talking about this. We're actually going to be addressing why this is significant. So we do see more consolidation in space in the world of payments. Nexi, the Italian fintech that scooped up rivals Danish-based Nets and then Italy's SIA to create a $12.5 billion European payments giant, has made another acquisition, this time to dig deeper into financial services for small and medium businesses in the region. It has fully acquired Overbird, a startup out of Germany that provides point-of-sale products and related services for restaurants and other businesses in the hospitality industry with 14,000 clients. This is huge. Now, the reason why I bring this up and the reason why I talk to you guys about this is that any acquisition like this through Nexi is actually fairly large for Quant as well. Because similar to, like, for example, we kind of talk about Oracle, all the connections that Oracle has, all those companies that are signed on to the Oracle network itself as well, will have, a slice of the pie, basically, direction to Quant. And basically what I mean by that is they'll basically have exposure to utilizing the Overledger network for interoperability. And the same goes for this as well. These major businesses will need interconnectivity between DLTs and the legacy platforms, and that's basically what we are seeing here. I think that this is great. I've always said that, the new world of technology, in terms of like DLTs, you're not going to see names being signed up one by one by one. You're going to be seeing, for an example, like a major name like Overbird that has 14,000 active clients signed on all at once and have the exposure to this technology. So when we talk about this, this is actually pretty large in terms of a major connection to Quant still. Now, talking about this as well, we kind of go back in time to April of 2021, and this is where IDB, backed LACChain tokenizes city payments partners with Overledger. Now, we know that LACChain, like I said, is a partner with Overledger or Quant, and this is actually pretty cool in terms of this use case because I think that a lot of people kind of forget that this actually happened. We do see down here, in terms of city payments trial, IDB deposited money in the U.S. City Bank account utilizing Citi's WorldLink payments APIs. The blockchain assessed the money, tokenized it, and made transfers with a digital wallet. After the money was tokenized, these funds were converted to local currency, Dominican pesos, with the exchange rate established by Citi. As exchange rates, payment status, and fees were traceable and transparent at all times, as the transaction could be checked in the LACChain blockchain. And again, we do see down here the exploration and adoption of innovative technologies for the optimization of payment processes and are essential to support the IDB group mission of improving the lives of the region by financing development projects. Now, again, when we talk about Quant or Overledger, we do see multi-DLT payments. This is where we really kind of talk about like multi-chain and multi-ledger basically adoption. So we do see separately last week LACChain announced that it has partnered with Quant, which is known for its blockchain interoperability solution Overledger. Together, the partners aim to utilize Quant's multi-ledger token solution for blockchain-based cross-border payments in association with partner banks. And again, cross-border payments are pretty large, and we do see one of the first aims is for migrant workers to utilize the tokenized e-money solution for low-cost cross-border payments or remittances within the region, but government and corporate payments are also planned. And again, those corporate and government use cases and payments will come once we do see the infrastructure basically being regulated. But I think that people forget that tokenization isn't just about payments as well. I do think that as we do kind of see tokenized payments basically be at the forefront of this, we will ultimately see tokenization kind of lead into more adoption. And when we talk about that, we kind of look at what has been happening just recently, going back to May 31st. JP Morgan in Singapore MAS tokenization pilot for DeFi on public blockchain. Now we do see down here, the project involves regulated financial institutions acting as trust anchors with an initial pilot involving JP Morgan, DBS Bank, and MarketNode, the SGX joint venture for bonds. Tokenized bonds and deposits will be utilized in a permission liquidity pool for DeFi transactions involving borrowing and lending on a public blockchain. Again, this is significant because we really kind of look at what's happening around tokenization. Obviously, yes, cash will be tokenized, but so will, basically these major markets. And I also kind of share with you guys a little bit about, for an example, like tokenized, real estate, but also like even tokenized stock markets. And I do believe that we will get to that point in time. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we do see, some major movement happening within this. And we actually do see here that, while the Monetary Authority of Singapore initially was broadly supportive of blockchain, it is concerned about the risk involved in cryptocurrencies and discourages retail investors from owning them. Again, I love the fact that they are mentioning this, the fact that like they're discouraging, retail investors from owning them, but, again, financial institutions and institutional clients are, adopting it and truly, accumulating at massive, numbers. But we do see here it's particularly interested in exploring four aspects. Open interoperable networks. This is a key area for Quant to really kind of look at. But then we also do see like trust anchors, asset tokenization, and then institutional grade DeFi protocols. When we talk about things happening around this market right now, the reason why I feel so confident accumulating Quant and also other, utility gems is because of where we are headed in terms of this market around, financial institutions and institutional grade money basically being ushered in through regulations. And we are seeing, still, some flows happening from the institutional grade area. But I do believe that, again, regulations are going to continue to push for much more adoption of, these ledgers and things like that. So I'm definitely focused on this area greatly. And I also think that this is a great area to focus on from Quant as well, because Quant is essentially enabling the major bridges to, DLTs and also the legacy system. So as we do see more tokenization happening, I do believe that Quant basically will be at the forefront of all of this to interconnect the legacy payment platforms to the digital ones. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys want more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.